Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital YouTube channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribers button and give this video a thumbs up. Michael Corinthos showed off his strength. The Thursday, October 26, 2023, General Hospital recap showed Michael controlling his wife's family life and pushing Nina's hand. This episode also saw Sasha make the decision to stay, Stella correct a major error, Carly seek assistance, and Dante and Sunny develop a stronger friendship. Let's examine the specifics in more detail now. Willow walked into Nina's office, and Michael gave her a fierce, knife-wielding gaze. Nina knew that was a clear warning, so she went along with his plan. Willow even tried to get her to decline another family vacation, but she was successful. After a while, Michael grew bored with the spectacle and left, but Willow stood up for herself and stayed to speak with Nina by herself instead of following him. The women were ecstatic to have each other in their life. Willow even shared her harmony-related nightmares with Nina. Nina became acutely aware of what she stood to lose. Michael, on the other hand, went to Kelly's and discovered his mother and Joss deep in discussion about Drew. Joss pleaded with him to provide a hand, but Carly reminded him to wash his hands, especially now. There's enough turmoil for their family. But she did ask him to snoop around to find out what Judge Kim was up to with Drew's file. Carly is determined to learn who duped Drew and her into joining the SEC. Sunny and Dante were having a father-son bonding session in his office, where they were singing each other's praises. Dan expressed regret for skipping the wedding, but Sunny was uninterested. He expressed to Dante his admiration and regard for him. Later, Sunny brought his new bride dinner and gave Nina flowers. Perfect way to round off the day. The remainder of his family went to Kelly's for some food with Carly. Portia went home and discussed Cyrus with Curtis in the interim. The lunatic is not only at large but also encountered her in the hospital. She boasted about confronting the villain, but she was secretly terrified. And what if he pursued them? Next to Trina? Is it appropriate to remove Trina from the dorms? Portia wondered. She even considered calling Ava to make sure Trina was never left alone at the gallery, because she didn't feel safe with Trina outside of their roof. Curtis concurred. He was also afraid. Curtis reached out to Jordan for assistance. The conversation off-screen seemed to calm him down. He had no idea that she was discussing him with Stella. The women talked about the case, Curtis's shooting, and his recuperation. When Stella learned there were still no leads, she was devastated. Felicia was on the edge of tears. She was so nervous about mishandling a patient's papers that she confided in Stella and Jordan. This turned out to be a costly error that almost cost the patient a significant sum of money. Felicia opted to pay the amount herself because she felt so awful. Luckily, Stella resolved the issue before Felicia needed to send a check. Liz and Michael Easton's character, Finn, were juggling work and pleasure plans. Finn even got a haircut. They kept running into one another to talk about their vacation because they were both so eager for it. They ultimately decided to use Liz's car, travel light, and bring Aiden some apples to his house. Sasha was returned to her actual life. She confided in Cody about her shift in opinion. She was heading out of town, determined to start over, but after taking one final look at Port Charles and seeing a picture of Brando, she had second thoughts. She belonged here, among her loved ones, Cody as well. Martin initiates a domino effect on GH. Teases from GH spoilers suggest that Nina is at her breaking point. Nina's only choice is to tell Sunny the truth now that Michael has managed to get Martin to confess that she was the one who handed Carly and Drew into the SEC, and he is extorting her for it. Michael won't have any more power over Nina if she does that. Additionally, Nina needs to quit seeming so guilty whenever she sees Carly. Will she, however, actually act morally, or will someone else arrive before her? Michael believes he is better than Nina. He may threaten to go running to Sunny to tattle, just like he used to do when he was a tiny, red-headed monster, every time she doesn't do what he wants. which is like all the time with Nina, especially when Willow Wiley and Amelia Grace are involved. The only way Nina can expose herself to Sonny and call his bluff is to do so. However, Nina has never been good at timing, so we're worried that if she waits too long, someone else will beat her to the punch. No, Michael not. First, he will bleed her till she loses all value. Someone else has to be involved. Someone has a legitimate motive to ruin Nina's life. And we believe we've identified the ideal applicant. Michael E. Knight is Martin. Martin, why? Essentially, he violated attorney-client confidentiality when he allowed Michael to complain and, erroneously, coerce him into disclosing Nina's activities. Nina is facing a very serious case. Martin might potentially lose his job. Martin, however, is a weasel. So leave it to him to believe that blackmailing Nina will help him defend himself. Martin can also use the threat of a lawsuit to blackmail Nina by making her admit the details he disclosed. And she's not interested in doing that, is she? Martin, however, misjudged Nina. She might lose it and tell him that she won't give up if he's just one blackmailer too many. That's when Martin would go to Sonny to exact revenge on her. Imagine chopping off your nose to get even with your face. But at last, Sonny will be fully aware. Furthermore, Nina wouldn't have told him, which may turn out to be her worst error. On General Hospital, Spencer Cassadine and Trina Robinson argue about Little Ace, but they really shouldn't. Sadly, fans of Sabrina cannot hope for every day to be as romantic as the time Spencer and Trina traveled to New York City and spent time together. Fans are aware that conflict is important to soap operas, but General Hospital might want to think about finding Sabrina another cause of conflict besides Ace, Spencer's younger brother. It makes sense that Trina is worried about Spencer getting sucked back into Esma's deceit at this moment. Spencer seems to prioritize picking his younger brother above the other every time the reformed villain pulls her Ace card. Sabrina almost had to postpone their trip to New York, since Ace seemed to be sick with chickenpox. Spencer is in a losing situation. He would be accused of being indifferent if he failed to watch out for his half-sibling. On the other hand, he might occasionally be blind to Trina's emotions due to his attachment to Ace. Not to be overlooked is Trina's role. It is unrealistic to expect her to forget that Esme attempted to frame her for filming Joss and Cameron engaging in sexual activity and sending the footage to their friends. In the event of a conviction, Trina might have been subject to jail time, expulsion from her school, and a criminal record. Although Esme doesn't recall doing any of this, it doesn't imply that she didn't attempt to damage Trina's life. Nothing will improve from the current state of affairs. Maybe Spencer and Trina should stand back and look at the situation from a new angle. Trina's biological father, Curtis, and her father-in-law, Taggart, are her two fathers. She is aware that, in Spencer's instance, a guy might be a father figure without necessarily being his biological father. She ought to be more sympathetic to Spencer's will to stick up for his defenseless brother. Spencer can draw a clearer boundary with Esme at the same time. He can constantly remind her that their relationship is not and will never be a romantic one. Granted, he will need to manage that cautiously because Esme is Ace's legal guardian and Spencer is not. Ace might have to pay the price otherwise. Portia's worry that Spencer isn't the proper man for her daughter is only one of the many ways that conflict might arise in Sabrina's relationship. Maybe Nicholas, Spencer's father, will reappear and offer some insight on Sabrina and Nicholas's relationship. We have faith that GH can devise strategies to heighten the tension in Sabrina's relationship. Trina believes that Spencer's affection for his younger brother portends well for the kind of father he would be to their offspring. We anticipate that Esme will eventually regain her memory, but we also know that she will keep it a secret. That will make for a fantastic conflict. Thanks for watching if you like this video. So please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and don't miss any updates.